Fellow nerds, we are talking the Bad Batch. We got 2 episodes this week: Identity Crisis and Point of No Return. And let me tell you, I did not expect who the Identity Crisis was going to be
Oh,
before that
Nope.
episode came out.
we
When I
did not bring her up at all in our theory palooza. When we were talking about her, what's next? I don't think that name came up at all. That threw me.
but
I was like,
I
oh,
loved it because it really
yeah.
gave us a little insight to what's going on at Mount
Mm-hmm.
Tantus and how things are going. And obviously, with Nala Se no longer being a part, things are moving a little slower, not progressing as Hemlock would probably
Mm-hmm.
like. So Emerie, kind of steps up. She wants that promotion. She's ready for it.
Oh yeah,
She's not
what
ready
she's been
for
doing
it.
her whole life.
Well, let me tell you, the identity crisis was on the subjects and not her. Because when she said SR 34 or whatever she called him, he said, "That's not my name." So boom, that's their identity crisis. What do you think of that?
Well, I think
I think it's
it
both
was.
of them,
Yeah, I
really.
was going to say it's both of them because Emery certainly had
Come
an identity crisis,
Oh yeah.
figuring out what was really going on and how they treat people. It was a lot. It reminded me a lot of when they told Wolf, "Think about
I
what we're
thought the
doing.
same
We're
thing.
hunting a kid." She saw how they're treating kids
It's
and was
yeah.
like, "I don't know if I want to be a part of this. I don't know if I can be a part of
Mm-hmm.
this." And it was just a really well done show. I mean, Doug talked about it earlier. We're getting so many good shows right now, and they're all animated. We are
Yeah.
like in just this incredible time for animated shows. And the Bad Batch, I'm going to be very sad when it's over. But at least we
I
got some
hate that
news.
this is the series finale, man.
You know what I liked about this episode is it didn't have any of the main cast on. It was just they can do that on this show and it still matters and it still watch it. This is a side character that they needed to develop a little bit more because she's obviously going to have a bigger part in the end of it.
Mhm.
Well, especially
And
us
who did
knowing
we and who
what.
did we get to see in this episode?
Oh, good old Cad Bane.
Oh man. The minute I heard the clink clink, I was like, they're doing it.
Yeah, it was like he told me earlier today. It was like seeing a long lost relative.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be related to him.
I would
No,
be.
but as a character,
You could go on missions with him. It'd be a good
as
time.
long as
What are we doing today, Cad Bane? We're abducting children. No,
all
thank you.
right, just stay home for that one.
Does it pay well? Yes. All right, I'm down. Let's go.
It does. Absolutely.
Can I get the new Motendo when we get home with that money?
That's shaped like a Sega.
But back to this episode. We who else thought when he was taking her past those things that we were going to see the incubation tubes again?
Yeah.
I was a little surprised. And all of a sudden, I walked in and there's kids. I was like, wait, the last time they went through those gates, it was,
Like smoke coming out and everything.
yeah, Snoke with smoke, and it was
Yeah.
crazy going on. There's kids, and they're sweet little
It's
kids.
like opening the door in the mystery machine. There was just smoke.
That's what it looked like in the previous episode. It was like this. Oh, and we all thought we said oh, that's probably where all the Palpatine clones are. Maybe they're not that far along yet.
No, they
They
can't.
haven't
It's gotta
developed
play out
any
over.
helps or any Snokes or any pokes or whatever comes.
It's got to play out over the 25 years, so they're probably not that far along.
Well, I still agree with our theory that we had last week when we said there's probably a good chance that they're going to destroy Mount Tantus because otherwise, yeah, it doesn't make sense for it to take that long. Also, for him to move everything to what was the Sith planet, Exegol. It doesn't make sense for him to have moved everything to Exegol and all 2,000 of those um, starships, bury them in the ice, put up his incubation tanks, get Luke's hand and put it in a separate tank. I'm going
He's a
to need this
collector.
for later.
He's a collector. He's a hoarder. He
Yeah.
likes to hoard things.
Hordes all
And
those Star Destroyers.
no.
hordes-
Okay, now this is going to look so cool when they come up out of the ice.
And remember, the water level stayed the same once they rose out of the ice. For some reason, thousands of ships, in fact, affect the level of the water for not at all.
They had
But,
dams that
yeah,
they moved forward to keep the water levels the same. I
So
saw
while
that.
we might
Oh.
end up,
Very
we might
clever.
end up losing some members of the batch, or maybe all of them, and maybe only Omega will survive. I still agree with what we thought last week. I still think they're going to eventually destroy Mount Tantus, rescue the kids. Kylo Ren will eventually kill him, good times.
And I still feel seeing this episode with seeing, the kids that have the high M counts, call them midichlorians. They're scientists in that place.
Just say the word.
But I do think that, it's different now. We thought before that Omega would talk them into going and saving the other clones. But now their mission is to go save Omega.
Yep.
I skipped ahead a little bit. We know that. But I do think
You
with
got to
seeing
do the
those
second
kids
show
in there,
already.
we are going to see Omega and those kids get freed at some point, and they're going to go with probably Sifo Dyas and Asajj, and they're the ones who are going to take them away and lead them down that, underground railroad for Jedi or whatever, and find a way to get them free. So it's not just going to be Omega now. I think there's going to be a few. They might not all the kids might not make it, but I do think, one, we didn't even really see that much. It was the two that really had the most screen time. So I think we're going to see them be the ones who get out with Omega and somehow get sent somewhere. And then we're going to start seeing them popping up in, live action somewhere.
In the beginning of that episode, I was wondering when the little cat alien baby thing, accidentally knocked over that vase using the Force. It made me wonder, how many other kids have accidentally been discovered to have the Force because they had no control over it. They're young, they're trying to reach for something, knock something over. How many glasses of blue milk did Luke knock over when he was a kid?
0. He always sucked it down. He never lost a drop of that.
Give me more milk.
Luke is like outer space Chuck Norris.
He pretty much is. That's but we did. I wonder if we're going to see the little bird Force kid. Maybe hanging out with Grogu at some point.
Ooh, maybe.
Because
Nah.
no, they probably won't intersect that. But we could see all of these kids somewhere being, secret training because I don't think they're going to show us more kids being killed in a Star Wars series, so soon after, Order 66 back in Revenge of the Sith. So I think they're going to get out. I think they're going to, have stories to be told post the Bad Batch in this era, which we were all against hearing any more stories in this era. But I'm all for it now. They find good ways to tell meaningful stories between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope that don't, destroy.
That's the key word, though. That's the key word, meaningful. It's gotta make sense, and we gotta care. There's only so many times you can keep revisiting the same timeline.
They only enhance the series that they're there for, and they're not actually crossing over any other timelines. Right in the end of the Bad Batch happens, isn't that the beginning of Rebels? Is that where they're going to try and end it?
Bad Batch happens right after Revenge of the Sith.
I know, and Rebels happens right before.
A New Hope.
Right before Rogue One.
Rogue One,
Yeah.
yes. So there's still a little time in there.
Oh yeah, there's definitely still a little bit of time.
Yeah, 7 years, something like that, 7, 8 years. So they do have some time to get some stories in that would hopefully make sense and, enhance the
So
overall
much more
story.
child murder.
Well, especially, they've done a really good job of all of the stories, when the Empire's at its strength, of showing just how repressed everybody is and how, they're not like mustache twirling evil per se. They are, but it's more along the lines they're stealing resources and they're trying to. We're bringing order to you guys. You guys got to accept our order, You know, they're not just going in and, you know, murdering tons of people. They're making it seem like they're legitimately trying to protect these people. And I'm sure, because there's two things that I always think about. One, they have to kind of act that way because there's no way that many people would work for the Empire.
Oh, yeah.
If they really, you know, thought that. So a lot of these people are probably like, yeah, we're just bringing order, and that's good. You know, I feel
we're
good
doing our job, yeah.
Doing
it reminds
my
me
job
of,
and loving it.
It reminds me of that guy, that like farmer dude in Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series, when he picked up Obi-Wan and Leia. He had like the "Long Live the Empire," you know, like bumper sticker on the back of his space pickup, and he's like, "Yeah, love what the Empire is doing, man. They are bringing law and order. Oh, it is great. Everything has been better ever since the Empire came." And it's like, you know, there are probably a lot of people that think that way, and it's not like just the aristocrats that they were showing
Andor.
in Andor and everything that were like just you know, making the best of it. It was plenty of people. And speaking of Andor, that's another one. Just, you know, going back to the security force, a lot of them, you know, they're not like evil. They're doing what they think is their job. Like, okay, there are a bunch of there's this rebellion sparking up. They're doing a lot of terrorism. They're killing people. We need to do our job as the you know, defense of the Empire, and we need to put a stop to this. We're doing our job. We're the good guys.
You know, Attack on Show makes a great point. He says they could even explore the galaxy that's only far away.
Instead of far, far away.
Is that where Ahsoka is?
She is now, yes. But, you know, we could find out a little bit more about what's going on before Thrawn gets there, possibly, because we know some things are going on. And we know that, obviously, the... what is the gods that at the end of Ahsoka.
Oh, the Mortis gods.
Yeah, the Mortis gods. Obviously, they were there, so could very well have some nice stories to tell there, which would obviously not wreck anything going on in the, you know, far, far away galaxy. So I think that's a good idea. I would love to see it.
Speaking of that, watching that trailer for Tales of the Empire? Tales of the Sith?
Tales of the Empire.
I'm looking forward to that. I like how they're going to talk a little bit about Morgan Elsbeth. I am disappointed that we didn't see anything about Balin, though. So I'm assuming he won't get worked in there in any way?
Well, he wasn't part of the Empire. He was just a mercenary.
You know, we may get... Because think about it. We got Tales of the Jedi. Then we got Tales of the Empire. We could get Tales of the Sith next, or Tales of the Bounty Hunters. So they could keep going a new thing every year and just keep it rolling. So we could definitely...
That'd be great.
You know, get some wonderful stories.
I loved Tales of the Jedi. God, that was such a fantastic series.
You know,
good. They did a lot of background on Dooku, man.
Yes.
I was going to say, I didn't think we would ever get such good, you know, fill-in for Count Dooku because he was very one-dimensional in the movies. And so it's nice between, you know, some of his him showing up in the Clone Wars.
That was George's fault.
Oh, I know. But the Clone Wars and then Tales of the Jedi really rounded out his character, and that was just so incredibly well done. I'm going to watch it again, but I think before May 4th.
I think I will too.
Just to get ready for Tales of the Empire. But
don't do it.
Okay, I won't. Don't tell me what to do.
You can't spare that 5 minutes or 15-minute episodes for 5 episodes. You can't do it. You can't.
I don't have the time.
Right.
But we did get a second episode too. And
yes.
Oh, you know what else I wanted to talk about? I made a note and I forgot to put it into my OneNote. But I laughed when Tarkin was talking to Hemlock.
Oh, about the amount of money it was costing?
He very much wanted to be a part of whatever was going on because he is an absolute power-hungry, you know, governor at the time. I think he was a governor at the time. He wasn't a Moff until later because we saw him do the same thing in Rogue One with the Death Star. So he tried to get in, and Hemlock was smart enough to maneuver him out. Like, Hemlock was like, don't worry, this is very important to the Emperor.
Right.
Just give me my money, basically.
If you needed to know,
like, can I help you out in any way? No, all I need is money. That's it.
Yep.
But it's also another thing I thought about. Tarkin's probably not a good enemy to have. And Tarkin probably made a note. Oh, this guy doesn't want to work with me. Okay, well, I'll see. One thing goes wrong. Tarkin's going to make sure he's whispering in the Emperor's ear, or anyone who's above him at the time. Listen, Emma can't handle this. Look, it's all gone wrong. He's had, clones breaking out. He had, the key to Project Necromancer in his grasp. She was gone. Now Say's no longer working for him. He can't control his people.
He'll do like a surprise inspection and be like, Governor Tarkin, what do I owe the pleasure? That's Moff Tarkin now. Oh.
One day I'm going to be Grand Moff Tarkin.
I have high ambitions. But in the second episode, too, I was really worried how they were going to be found on Pabu. But I kind of liked the way they handled it, with that assassin kind of getting on Fee's ship after finding out that they were working with, a pirate and figuring it out. And it wasn't just Fee, I'm off my ship and leave it all unlocked. There was an alarm that went off that he was able to kind of slow down, and then he got the information, and she even sensed him on the bridge and kind of snuck under. But he was obviously, slick enough to get away.
Yeah.
And then finding out and calling it in and basically saying, hey, I'm going there. That's where I think she is. I'll call it in when I get there. And of course, landed in the same little cave. Hey, maybe start watching that cave now, guys. People are landing ships in there to surprise you.
I think it's a little late for that.
Enrica, I thought that was not going to be a big deal, but he didn't get back up the whole episode. Of course, it was only a 22-minute episode, so.
Yeah.
But, what was it? The dog that was with him?
Yeah.
No, it was the robot, the Gonk droid.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, and that just popped right up. So, Reeker, you can usually take a punch. So, Reeker, I can't see now. I'm stuck calling him Reeker, like he smells.
Because Omega calls him that.
Reeker, he smells a lot. He's Reeker.
But I do like how, being the demolition expert of the team, he was able to. He heard the tone. He's like, "Oh, that's a bomb."
Uh-oh.
I gotta run.
We gotta get out of here.
Well, and the Bad Batch was doing the right thing. They were trying to leave there. They knew that them being there was going to endanger them.
Yeah, that's why they
weren't like, oh, we finally found our home and let's kick back and build our huts and do all that stuff. They were trying to get off and they just were not quick enough.
It's not quick enough.
And it wasn't like, I was really worried that they were going to find some last minute escape. First they blew up their ship and I'm like, okay, that's smart. I like when, the bad guys have good plans.
That hurt though.
Oh, I know.
Man, because that was like their home away from home. Like before they had landed on that planet, that was like, they had a little bunk set aside just for Omega, and like everybody was basically living aboard that ship. That was almost as bad as when the Mandalorian lost his ship.
The Razor Crest.
Oh, God.
Yeah, when the Razor Crest got blown up, I was like, oh.
It's like he just got that damn thing fixed.
And we even see him, it's one of those things I like when, like, okay, this is our plan. We're going to steal a gunship. We're going to get this. And they stole a gunship, but they were smart enough. The Empire was basically, you can't let them get away, target that. They killed the freaking pilot.
Killed their own guy.
Just to make sure they couldn't escape. I'm like, okay, that's the Empire. Way to go.
That is totally the Empire.
Totally takes, Hunter out of the play. And then, Omega, once again, Doug is totally, 100%, absolutely right that she is using some sort of forced persuasion to get the Bad Batch to follow her. There's no way Crosshair, when she's like, I'll turn myself in, there's no way else we're going to save everybody. And he's like, nah, I can't do it. She's like, oh, we'll just put a tracker on me and on the ship and we'll be good. And of course, once again,
he's like, all right.
They found the tracker right away, and then he was, basically ambushed when he was about to put it on the ship, and then ended up not being able to get it. And I'm like, that's a quality written episode. The good guys don't always win. There's not always a pleasant end to an episode for the good guys.
Hindsight, what I would have done, I thought about this when I was watching the episode. They knew that, because they kind of discussed this, they knew that they were going to scan her for trackers. I would have had 2 on my person. And
That's
they're
what I
like,
was gonna
okay,
say.
hand it over, give them the 1, keep the other one on you.
I thought she was
Yep.
going to pull it out from under her hat.
And the other
But
thing
no.
was they factored in Crosshair's shooting problems.
Yeah.
When because he had it lined up, and then of course he gets shot at, and he wouldn't have
Yep.
missed that shot before, no matter what.
Yep.
And he missed it, and then he finally got clear, and he couldn't hit the shot then either.
Mhm.
So it's cool how they still factor that in. I wonder if he'll have it fixed.
I
by
know.
then.
I'm so glad that they didn't, just like wash over. Like, okay, he had a little issue, but hey, he learned how to breathe, so he's good now.
Yeah, he meditated. Now his shot is spot on again.
Right. He meditated
Right.
that one time, so he's all better.
Like, ooh, that was so much. That's all I had to do.
That's all you have to do.
Even Omega being Omega and being, I have to give myself up. I can't let these people get hurt for me.
Hmm.
She has no idea what's in store for her, but she does probably think, at this point we know the number one priority for the Bad Batch is going to be finding Mount Tantus and rescuing her.
I don't know how though.
Hunter and Wrecker are going to be livid when they find out what happened, especially finding out that Crosshair let her turn herself in.
Now, do you think they're also going to be captured, or do you think the Empire is going to leave a detachment on that planet to kind of like keep an eye on it?
I think they will leave a detachment, but I think they're going to reach out to Echo or Rex, and someone's going to come get them, and they're going to be like, listen, we have to find Tantus. We have to rescue Omega. We let her, Fennec was right. We let her slip out of our grasp again. And, we can't do that to her. We got to get her. She's probably the most wholesome, person of all of them. She always wants to do the right thing. She always wants to save people. She always willing to put herself at risk. She's like a little Captain America. She's willing to put herself at risk to save people. And, they don't leave their own, they're like Marines. Now, I know you guys don't know what that's like, so I'll explain it to you. but you don't leave anyone behind. And so they're going to be, we only got 4 episodes. What, Dave?
That's what the Greeks say.
But we only got 4 episodes left. And so they have to figure out where Mount Tantus is and figure out a plan to get in. And I think Identity Crisis is probably giving us a little clue as to who's going to help them within Mount Tantus to probably not find it, but maybe help Omega. I almost called her Echo. Help Omega! Maybe get a message out or reach out to them or somehow find a way to get a message to them. Because how else they're going to find Mount Tantus? I have no idea.
I have a what's next for that.
Oh, good. You want to do it now?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Okay, so here's my theory. This is going to be a bit convoluted, but I don't know what other way they're going to be able to get to Mount Tantus. So, they already know from talking to oh my God, what's her name? That was in the last episode. The lightsaber.
Fee. Asajj. Ventress.
Asajj, thank you. They already know from talking to Asajj, and they already know from, hearing about what's going on, that there are bounty hunters that are actively looking for these Force-sensitive or high M-count kids. They know this. So, what if they get in touch with a certain bounty hunter again? And what if they say, we need you to either contact another bounty hunter, like, I don't know, maybe Boba Fett or someone else, or you can contact the Empire directly. Either way, we need to set up a situation where they think they're coming to retrieve a high M-count kid. We incapacitate their troopers, put on their uniforms, set their navigation unit back to Mount Tantus, take their ship, and go rescue Omega. And like I said, I know it's very convoluted.
I do like that, but didn't Cad Bane come to them? So maybe they say, hey...
No. They met at a location. He didn't go to Mount Tantus. They met like in an in-between location.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah,
yes.
remember? because Emerie wanted to go with.
Right.
She had to leave Montantis. That's right.
Yes. Because I don't think they want anybody to know where it is, even these bounty hunters. So that's why I think they're going to need to figure out, they're going to need a bounty hunter to help them make that connection with the Empire.
So what was Boba Fett, like 15 at that point?
Maybe.
He's not that old. He's about the same age as Omega.
But he was still leading teams when he was young.
Yeah, he was
because they showed.
He was with Asajj.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when the Dathomir.
Yeah, but I do like Attack on
think
Show's
Jake was
question
part of his
too.
team.
Will Rex bring Ahsoka?
Oh.
Yeah, she's not accounted for that time, so she could show up.
They're gonna need firepower, and it's something where they have. I like Doug's what's next theory. They have maybe Fennec. Use her because she's the one who's had the best relationship with the Bad Batch through this. Have her contact the Empire and say, "Hey, I got one of those kids on the M count list.
Yeah.
I want to collect
the
my
way
bounty."
they phrased it, like a number one bounty or something.
Right. And then they meet on that place. The Bad Batch storm out, take the troopers that are there, get to their ship. It should show them how to get to Mount Tantus.
Exactly.
And then they, call that out, get Rex, anyone else who's going to help them. Or maybe they even storm the place, try to infiltrate, get in, and then allow. They'd probably be
I think that
pretty
would be
quick.
their best bet. I think if they, just infiltrate it. That's why I said they'll probably pull the rebels. They'll most likely knock out these troopers, put on their uniforms.
Yep, and then once they get there, they can signal to everybody, and that way they have someone on the inside too. And I'm sure Emerie will help them. And then when people show up, take down any shields, take down any defenses that they need to do. So, not only can the cavalry help, but did you see that?
And if Emerie could just say,
yeah, that was cool.
If Emerie could just say one time, "Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?" I would be so happy.
Well, what would be really cool is if they like grabbed Omega and they were walking through the hangar like with her under a trench coat and she was kind of looking out.
No.
Dude,
Dave,
I like
come
that.
on, they would
So
never-
like they're destroying Mount Tantus and people are running around and they just Wrecker has her under a trench coat walking out and ain't nothing to see here. See, I don't want her to say, "Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?" I want Wrecker to be in stormtrooper armor.
Oh, aren't you a
And she'd
little
be
big?
Aren't you a little large to be a stormtrooper?
Yes, okay, I like that even better.
He's only wearing the helmet too, not the rest of it.
Oh, he can't fit the whole helmet on.
Right. It's halfway
Up
out.
to here. How do you even see out of these things?
He's got a shirt that says "Have a nice day" on it with a smiling face.
Long live the Empire.
Yeah, there you go. I visited Mount Tantus. All I got was this tank top.
It didn't start off as a tank top. He had to flex.
It's actually a crop top. He was sick of Gambit getting all those memes with his
like,
crop top.
I would flex, but I like this shirt. That's what it says.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
But I do like that. We got 4 episodes left. We got Juggernaut, which probably isn't about Kane Marco. That's an X-Men
no?
reference. Kane Marco is the Juggernaut from the X-Men.
Thank you.
Charles,
Thank you for playing.
Thank you. Charles Xavier's stepbrother.
Spoilers.
Oh, sorry. Then we got Into the Breach.
Which is a Shakespeare thing, so we all know it's going to be a Shakespeare show about Shakespeare.
Yes.
Yes, they're going to do a total spin-off. It's going to be set in an alternate universe.
It's a soft pilot for another show.
Omega is going to be Juliet, and SB-31 is going to be Romeo. And then we got Flash Strike, which sounds to me like them hitting Mount Tantus hard and trying to infiltrate and get everybody out because they can't do a full-on full-scale invasion of Mount Tantus. They don't have the people. And then obviously the
Flash
cavalry.
fact. Flash fact. Here,
Yeah.
no, this one a prediction. What's going to happen is, oh God, my ADHD just launched that idea right out of my head.
I don't know what
It had something
HT
to
is,
do
but
with
how do you have
flash.
80 of them?
There's something about the Flash you said there. Um,
About Flash Strike?
it's gonna be like the Siege of Mandalore, only backwards. The bad people are going to win it.
Oh,
That's
didn't
probably
the bad
true.
people? Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Siege Mandalore. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how Siege of Mandalore was incredible on the Clone Wars. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be something like that at that level, but they're gonna lose.
Hmm.
And then, so the final episode, the cavalry has arrived. Is that going to be them? Someone come? Because honestly, I could see, Dave, that makes sense. The Bad Batch goes in there trying to rescue Omega, and they lose. But they do get word out, so people come in, and obviously, I don't think any of the Bad Batch. I went back and forth thinking Crosshair was going to survive or Wrecker, someone to kind of be with Omega. But I think she is going to be on her own after this. I think they are all going to sacrifice themselves at Tantus, so her and the other kids get free, probably to Asajj, maybe even Ahsoka if she does show up to kind of help them, because they would
What if
need that.
it's Kanan Jarrus? He
That
could be
would
the captain.
no, that would be good too. He's already been in the Bad Batch. He was in the first episode as
Mm-hmm.
Caleb Dune, so he definitely could be, because at this point he's probably starting to figure out that
Mid-teen.
he needs to work, with the rebel cells.
Yeah.
And this could be his
I mean,
introduction to the
eventually
rebel
he's going
cells.
to.
Powerful.
Eventually, he's going to get mixed up with them anyway. So yeah, it makes sense.
We already saw in animation how he lost his master and how he went on the run. So now we could see maybe how he becomes a part of the of his rebel cell. That would be kind of cool. Any other theories, thoughts on the rest of this season? I'm going to be very sad when it's over, by the way.
That will be too.
Unless they announce something right at the end that they're not announcing yet, and then we get to the last show and they say we're going to have this show now, and it's going to be kind of like a continuation. That'd be kind of cool.
It would be
But yeah,
nice if, a lot like
that is
after The
sad.
Mandalorian season 2, we had the post-credit scene for the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
If we do get something like
Yeah.
that, like, you know,
But actually, good this time.
yeah, yes, yes, yeah. The show.
Hey, it was good for 3 episodes.
Yeah, the one's about Boba Fett.
The Mandalorian 2.5.
But and we do know that we now know that at least 3 days after the finale, we do get Tales of the Empire, which will
Mm-hmm.
definitely be helpful. But should we rate these episodes, gentlemen?
Sure. I'd say we do.
Okay.
All right, are we going to rate them as a unit or separately? I think
I'd
as a
say
unit.
as a unit. I feel like they kind of fit together nice and neat.
They did, and they did cover completely different topics. Not the same characters or in both shows, I don't think, but covered the same, area. Why is this? Some of the Empire was in both shows, I guess, because they were signed to come get Omega.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I mean, that first show, it kind of threw me a little bit. It was kind of slow, and you know how I am with that stuff. Um, but it's still it's going to drag down my overall rating for these 2 episodes. And the second episode left us open to all these ideas, and I liked how like we discussed earlier with Crosshair is still dealing with this problem and still affecting whether they're going to get Omega back or not. That's like Keith said, that's just really good writing. So like if I had to rate them separately, one would be less than two. But overall, as in both, I'm going to give it a 6.5.
All right. I'm actually going to go a little bit higher. I liked both episodes. I liked them both individually. I liked them both together. I think some of my favorite pieces of the first episode were like what Keith brought up, where Just the conversation between Tarkin and what's his name?
Hemlock.
Just Hemlock, and then just watching kind of Emerie go through the same sort of realization that Wolf did, just like, oh, whoa, we're experimenting on kids. That's what we're, and like, she wants to be a human about it. She wants to call them by their name. She wants to reassure them, oh yeah, we're gonna send you home. Everything's gonna be okay. And like you can tell it's like it's crushing her to have to lie to these kids, especially when you told us that so and so wouldn't be in trouble. Yeah, about that. It's like, oh God, I thought it was good. It was not what I expected. I'm with you, Dave. When the episode started off and I'm like, oh, okay, we're on another planet. Little force baby. Uh-oh, little force baby. And then we were spending like the rest of the episode basically with like Emerie, and it's like, yeah, no, okay, yeah, this is definitely an identity crisis. It is not the person I thought that would be having it. We were assuming it was going to be a member of the batch, so I was like, oh, all right, cool. So yeah, I liked it. And then I thought the following episode was just as good, if not a little bit better. I love the fact that we're basically at kind of an end game sort of point where everything is going wrong. And Dave, you couldn't have said it better. It's nice to sometimes see the good guys lose, you know? They don't always have to win. I was kind of surprised to see like just the amount of destruction they were bringing to the village, and just like the mustache twirling evil, like I will kill every last one of you if you don't bring her out. Like he's basically saying, I don't care about your island. This place means nothing to us. You will crush it. And yeah, seeing Omega basically realize I gotta turn myself in. It's the only way. It's like they're going to destroy the entire island otherwise. And I kind of I kind of forgot about the whole hand wave thing that I had mentioned that until you brought it up again, Keith. And once you said it, I was like, oh, she did do it again, didn't she? How was she able
Yeah.
to keep convincing them of this stuff?
That was the first thing I thought of when she did it. I'm like, more proof that Doug's right.
Yeah,
How
he
does she
didn't
keep
give
talking?
hardly any pushback on that. He was just
Right?
like,
No.
okay,
You're just like,
okay, we'll do your
you're right. You should turn yourself in.
thing.
Oh. But yeah, I would have to rate these if I'm rating them together, I think I'm gonna rate them an 8. I enjoyed it. It was a good watch. It was probably one of my favorite things that I watched this week. Just an excellent series. I'm with Keith. I'm gonna be so sad when it's gone. So Keith, what did you think?
I thought both episodes were great. I really enjoyed both of them. It's pushing the story forward, it's filling in gaps. So when we see the end of this, it's going to make sense why certain characters do certain things, I think. So it's
Hmm.
all doing a nice little fill in with all the information we need leading up to this finale. And we got an episode. I love when I don't know what's coming up and they surprise me. And that episode with Emerie surprised me. And it was
Yeah.
well done. It was a little slower paced, which I know is a problem for Dave a lot of the times, but it never is for me as long as it's well done. And I thought it was really well done. Her realizing, having these interaction with these kids and realizing what the protocol is for dealing with them. Don't call them by their names. Her saying, oh, he's not going to be in trouble, and then finding out, well, the process is he's in lockdown for 2 days. And then, Eva's like, I thought you said he wasn't going to be in trouble. So a lot of learning on her and understanding what she has gotten herself into, which will probably lead to her, helping the Bad Batch and getting these kids and Omega out of Mount Tantus and out of the Emperor's hands. I thought it was well done. And then the point of no return, so much good there. How they found them, them dealing with them, shooting down all of their plans, you know,
Hmm.
blowing up their ship was such a smart move. They can't leave if they don't have a ship because they know they can't. Once they escaped because he said, we need Omega alive. You can't shoot that ship down. We'll just have to find him. So they learn from their mistakes. That's a good thing. You know what? They don't have a ship. They can't leave. We just got to find out where she is. We may lose some fodder, stormtroopers getting her, but that's okay because she can't leave this planet. She's on this island. We're going to get her. We've destroyed all the ships. We've destroyed all the boats. She's here. I just thought it was really well done. And even the Bad Batch's plans, you know, good guys can't always win. Dave's absolutely right. It's good when they don't, because it sets you up. You know, we saw, their plan to do this failed. Their plan, or the plan to get the gunship failed. Their plan to have them put a tracker on the ship failed because of something we've seen all season long with Crosshair's hand, waving like that, and his shot not being as accurate. They've just done a good job of bringing everything full circle and writing everything making sense and being a part of the main storyline and all fitting together. I'm going to give both of these episodes together an 8.7. I thought they were great. They just made total sense. They were total joy to watch. We say it all the time, but Kevin Kiner's score just always hits. It's the one show, like when they were just walking through those things, and it was like, doo, 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 the music was like kind of building in intensity, and I was like, oh, this is so good. Kevin Kiner and his family that do the score for this just don't miss. It's always so good. And man, 4 episodes left. It's going to be absolutely heartbreaking when it's over.
Speaking of points of no return, what are the odds that Emerie's going to go to Hemlock, having a crisis of faith and be like, yeah, you know what? I'd like to resign, and then him have to, I don't think you know what you're asking for. There is no resigning and living once you've seen what you've seen.
Cool. Let me go smack them specimens around. I'm good.
You know what? I hate kids. You're right. I'm just gonna get right on that.
Especially kids with high M counts. Is that?
Oh, gross.
Good thing they don't got midichlorians.
Like, if they sneeze on me, will I have a high M count?
The one thing too I forgot at the end when she's on the ship, and she looks like she's gonna start meditating. I thought for sure she was going to connect with Asajj. I thought she was going to be like have that sort of mind sort of connection, like reach out like Luke did on when he after the Empire Strikes Back.
Luke.
Luke. But I thought she was going to reach. Yeah. Oh, dude.
Hodor.
Hodor.
Hey fellow nerds, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of this stuff, make sure that you check out our Twitch stream. We try to do these live Sunday or Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep an eye on our social media to find out when you can join in live and chat with us during these live streams. Also, as usual, don't forget to check out our other social media. Add us at Twitter, comment down below, and we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo.
You